So what does true well-being really look like? I'm not just talking about physical health, but that deep, lasting sense of fulfillment. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty powerful roadmap to a richer, more meaningful life. And it's all drawn from the text, The Path of Spiritual Progress and Thought Revolution.
All right, so here's our game plan. We've got 5 key stops on this journey. We'll kick things off by redefining what well-being even is, then move through the powerful practice of noble service and the surprising idea of a knowledge offering. Then we'll see how it all builds up to a thought revolution and ultimately lasting fulfillment.
You know, we all know the signs of a healthy body, right? Like having a good appetite or getting a good night's sleep. But what are the vital signs of a healthy spirit? Well, the source material argues that our inner world has its own clear indicators, just like our outer one.
Okay, so check this out. This slide draws this really powerful parallel. On the left, you've got physical health. On the right, spiritual health. So a healthy appetite for food, that's like having a hunger for excellent thoughts. Deep restorative sleep, that mirrors a deep integrity in your character. And that physical energy you have for work, its spiritual counterpart is this abundant, overflowing drive to serve other people. These, the text says, are the real measures of your inner vitality.
Now, that third sign, that abundance of service, that's exactly what we're going to focus on next. The text calls this practice aradhana, which is basically worship through action. But here's the catch. It makes a crucial distinction that not all service is created equal. There's a huge difference between just giving charity and actually empowering someone.
So, to be super clear, aradhana isn't just, writing a check once in a while. The text frames it as a deep spiritual discipline. It's the tangible output of a healthy spirit. It's where your inner excellence flows directly into your outer actions.
The source lays out this really clear hierarchy, almost like a ladder of service. Step 1 is the immediate stuff, right? Emergency relief. Totally necessary. But the next level up is way more powerful, helping people get on their own 2 feet. And the highest level, the most transformative kind of help, it's helping people change the very thinking that's creating their problems in the first place.
And this quote right here, man, it just captures the central warning of the text perfectly. Any service that creates dependency isn't true service. It argues this can actually be pretty harmful, damaging the character of both the person receiving the help and the person giving it. Real service, true service, has to empower. It can't weaken.
So this whole idea of empowerment brings us to what the source considers the absolute most profound form of service possible. It's the one that sits at the very, very top of that hierarchy we just looked at.
This concept, Gyan Yagya, or the knowledge offering, is really the heart of this entire philosophy. The argument is simple, but it's incredibly profound. If flawed thinking is the root cause of all our problems, then the greatest possible service you can do for another human being is to share wisdom and help them correct that thinking. It's the ultimate act of compassion.
This really gets to the heart of it. It's that classic idea, right? Give a person a fish, and you feed them for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. Material aid solves a problem for a moment. But giving someone knowledge, the mental tools to see the world clearly and fix their own problems, that creates a lifetime of upliftment. That is the ultimate empowerment.
Okay, so if the goal is to share knowledge and spark this thought revolution, how do you actually do it? Well, the text offers some wonderfully creative and practical methods. Some are ancient, and some are surprisingly modern.
I mean, look at this list. The text basically proposes this whole toolkit for creating change. You've got everything from really grassroots stuff like mobile knapsack libraries and study groups, all the way to using bigger tools like music, media, and even public art. And maybe the most important one on there, leading by personal example. Each one is a different way to plant seeds of positive thought in society.
I absolutely love this analogy. It's so powerful and humbling because it reminds us that you don't have to be some enlightened master to participate in this knowledge offering. You just need to know a little bit more than someone else. We can all be teachers and students in this process, just sharing what we know to help the person on the step right behind us. And this brings us to the final part of our journey today. Why? Why is this path of service and sharing knowledge the key to a kind of fulfillment that other pursuits like, say, just accumulating wealth, can never really offer?
The contrast here is it's stark, it's night and day. Material wealth is temporary, right? It can be lost or stolen. But spiritual wealth, your wisdom, your character, that's permanent. But get this last one is the real game changer. When you give away material wealth, you have less.
But when you share spiritual wealth, like knowledge, it actually increases inside of you. How cool is that?
This is such a reassuring idea. The path of material gain can feel like the stock market. It's full of ups and downs. But the text argues that the path of spiritual progress is a steady climb. Every genuine effort you make is a permanent gain. There are no recessions on this path. Every single step forward is a step you never have to take again.
So to walk this path successfully, the source says we need to build our lives on these 3 pillars. You need a noble ideal to aim for, you need to do the continuous inner work of self-improvement, and you need to do the outer work of selfless action and duty. They all work together, each one strengthening the others.
So what's the ultimate takeaway here? It's that the path to our own lasting fulfillment is actually paved with service to other people. And the highest form of that service is sharing what we know to help lift someone else up. It's a path where giving is gaining, and every step forward is permanent. So the only question left is, what will your knowledge offering be?